Hey Pam, if you can hear me, just put in a comment, please. Hey Pam, if you can hear me, just put in a comment, please. I'm getting some feedback. Just give me a second here. All right, I think I have it muted now. All right, I think we'll get started. Hey, it's Shel Anderson from Shel's Creative Corner and Shel Anderson Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I would like to welcome you here tonight. We are going to have a play with a few products tonight. Predominantly, this video is to do with the new bundle that was released today, the Quite Curvy bundle, and it comes as the Quite Curvy stamp set with the dies, and then there's the Curvy Christmas set and this absolutely gorgeous classic Christmas DSP. It is absolutely fabulous. And it's not just for Christmas. One side has Christmas prints, the other side has geometric prints, so you can use it all year round. The colors for that are Cherry Cobbler, Shaded Spruce, and Sahara Sand. Okay, so we are going to try to make 3 cards today, but I did bring in some other products. I brought in the So Many Snowflakes dies, and I used the 3 smallest dies from that set. And I also am using the Pinewood, I can't even talk, the Pinewood dies. And I used this one, which is a cutting die that fits inside of this one. This is a fabulous set, anybody who likes trees. And I also chose some of the Snowflake Splendor DSP. And that goes with the Snowflake bundle. All kinds of fabulous winter themed papers in there. And I have used 2 of the Curvy dies. Of course, I've got it at the very bottom of the pile over here. I used this one. I should put it on a cardstock so you can see it. And this one. Those are the ones we're going to use tonight. There's all kinds to choose from in there, but those are the 2 that I chose for tonight. Yes, it is exciting, Pam. I've got those ordered up and can't wait for them to come in for you girls. Okay, so these cards tonight are going to be very simple, but very beautiful. So I've done some pre-cutting because I didn't think you guys wanted to sit there and watch me cut these. It was just a lot of cutting. So we'll get started with our first card. Our first card is a Christmas card. You can make it a non-Christmas card. It could be a birthday card. I used Shaded Spruce, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I grabbed a piece of this gorgeous DSP, and I'm going to use the tree side. and that's 4 by 5 1/4. And then I took a piece of Whisper White, and I want to see if I can find the piece that goes with this one. I think it was this one. Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. Anyway, my point being is that if you cut your paper, it was this one. If you cut your papers properly, you can get 2 cards out of your, like, see, I trimmed some off here, but you can, if you cut them properly, I could easily get 2 cards out of that. Okay, so there's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is these are the cutoffs from all 3 of my cards tonight. And yes, you can use these as scrap, but if you keep them and you layered them together, they make beautiful snowbanks. Grab your freezing fun bundle and you would have a heyday with that. So there's tip number 2 for you today. Now I use this fabulous fancy filigree, I don't know what you call it. I call it a filigree, I guess. And I just cut that in half. Then I have a couple, oh yes, I did have some punches. Tonight I used this blossom punch. I used this retired ticket punch. And I used the tailored tag punch as well. All right, so I am going to take this DSP and I am just going to glue this down to the front of my card. Now, if you wanted, you could measure and only use as much as is going to be seen, and you're going to save this much cardstock. I didn't bother because I think that for all that work, the little piece that you're going to save, it just wasn't worth it to me. So I didn't do it. Now we are going to put this piece right over top of that Designer Series paper. Just like so. Easy peasy. Now this gorgeous tree cutout. It is fabulous. It's the first time I've used this die. I've used the set, but this particular die, it's the first time I used it. And color me impressed. Just getting some glue on the back of that, and I am just going to plop this down right in the middle of there. Now there's a little bird in the Quite Curvy bundle. There's actually 3, and there's coordinating dies. I actually stamped him in Memento and I colored him in with Stampin' blends. And then I have this tailored tag punch. And I wanted to show you another little tip. My plan is that I'm going to stamp my greeting here, and I just wanted something fancy, and it's going to go here. But you see how this looks here? I'm going to bring the card up. Okay, now watch what happens when I flip this over. Do you see the difference? This piece here, I just sponged it with the same color ink, the shaded spruce ink, and look at the definition that that pulls out on that card. Or card, on the tag. All right, so we need to bring in a foam mat and a greeting, and I've chosen the Merry Christmas, and I am going to stamp that in Memento Black. And you'll see I have an extra tag here just in case I mess up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp 2 of them, and I will choose the best one. How's that for a plan? All right, I am going to choose the second one. It looks a bit better to me. And I am going to glue this right down flat on the tag. Hi, Brenda. Glad you could join us. Thank you. All right, so I'm just going to grab a couple of Stampin' Dimensionals. For some reason, I can't see who's here, so when you come in, just say hello so that I know that you're here. And I'm going to just stick this right up here at the top. And my thought is this little guy is just going to sit right up here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on his feet, because that's about all that's going to touch. And there you have it. There is our first card. Super simple, super easy, but really, really quite striking. Okay, number one. Just as easy as that. Now we are going to pull in number two, and this one is definitely a wow card. This one I have used the Curvy dies, but I've combined them with the So Many Snowflakes bundle. This piece of cardstock is the Misty Moonlight 8.5 by 5.5. And I have a piece of this snowflake paper. My card base is not straight, so I will have to take care of that. I must have been sleeping when I burnished that. Okay, so then we're going to have a piece of the gorgeous DSP. And of course I've cut the dotted one this time. And you'll notice, yes, there is glitter everywhere because I decided I was going to use some glimmer paper and some foil just to bling this up. So this one I'm going to pull in my Stamparatus because I am going to use one of the Curvy greetings, and I might need to stamp that twice. So I'm just going to put this in here, and then we will get our greeting on. And the greeting says, "May your days be merry and bright." And those photopolymers are sticky when they don't have any ink on them. Now, I'm wondering if I want black ink on that or blue. Maybe I'll go with the blue. If I don't like it, I can always go over it with the black. And we will stamp that down. That looks fabulous just the way it is. I'm happy with that. All right, I'm going to put that back in the case so I don't lose it, along with the Merry Christmas stamp that I already used and the bird. All right. Okay, so that was Misty Moonlight ink that I chose that matches the cardstock. And what I did is I just went in my scrap bin and I had some silver foil, so I cut some of these gorgeous snowflakes in the silver foil, and I found a piece of Pool Party. So I cut some in Pool Party. And then check out these babies. I found a piece of scrap glimmer paper and I cut some of those out. So that's what we're going to use to embellish. So we're going to put the card, see, you could very easily, ooh, that looks pretty nice, doesn't it? Which side do you prefer? The one with the white snowflakes or the blue snowflakes? Let me know which one you like, ladies. Blue or white snowflakes? No preference? I think I'm going to go with the blue then. Yay, Pam likes blue too. All right. There we go. See, and I wasn't even planning on that. I was planning on using the other side. So this card, instead of opening sideways, it's going to open this way, top to bottom, landscape. All right. Oh, and Brenda liked the blue as well. Awesome. Nice to know we're all on the same page. All right. Pretty simple so far. Now we have to figure out how we are going to put these together. So I've got two big ones. And then perhaps a medium. Well, that's not going to work. Because see, I was just using my scraps for this, eh? So I kind of have what I have. That one's going to need a turquoise. This one's going to need a glimmer. I don't know how many I'm going to put on. I want to save a couple for the inside. Let me bring in my mat here and we'll put one of these together and see what it looks like. I'm wondering if maybe the silver and the glimmer together is too much. Or maybe 3 layers is too much. What do you think of that? I don't know which I like better. I think I am going to go with the turquoise, Pool Party, and the glimmer. And then I'm going to go with the foil and the Pool Party. And I think that's what's going to go on the front of my card. I think. All right. We are off to the races. I think we're just going to slide those aside and bring these in and see what they look like. Oh, look at that. Pretty, pretty. Maybe I'll pop one up and glue one flat. Oh, that one wasn't set yet. Takes a minute on that foil. All right, so we will glue this guy flat. And then I'm going to find a mini dimensional because I think it will be less conspicuous than a regular dimensional. And I'm going to pop that off to the side, but overlapping a bit. How pretty is that? Now, of course, I'm going to have to finish the insides of these, but you guys don't need to see me do that. Just gonna. The purpose of this video is just to give you some ideas so that when you get your sets, you can go off to the races. So we're on to our last one. Now I'm going to make this one not a Christmas card. Although I have chosen the Cherry Cobbler card base, 8.5 by 5.5. And I've chosen the Cherry Cobbler DSP as well. And we are not going to use the trees. We're going to use this side. And that's going to get glued down flat like so. So we will get that right on there now. Just something like that. All right, so this piece, we are going to bring our Stamparatus back in. I am going to do a little bit of Stampin' on here in a couple of different areas. Actually, I can just use this. Actually, I'm going to ink this stamp and stamp this down, and then I'll use the Stamparatus for my greeting. And I'm using the shaded spruce ink, and I'm using this branch that is in the Curvy Christmas. And I am just going to stamp that across here. A few times. Actually, I am going to clean this off. See what I'm trying to do here is to make it fit. Well, that didn't work. All right, let's try it on the block. I will shape it on the block. I want to change the curve on it just a titch. And with these photopolymer stamps, you see how easy that is to do? Hopefully my big head wasn't in the way when I did that. If you put one end of it on the block, you can stretch it just a little bit to make it behave the way you want it to. All right. Now I am going to stamp my greeting, and I think I'm going to do it in black this time. And I have just chosen a simple hello. You can make this into a birthday card. You can make it into whatever you like. Actually, I might go with a bigger greeting. Now that I'm looking at this, this hello looks a little bit small to me. I'm going to put this one back, and I am going to choose... Oh, hey, Carol. Glad you could join us. I'm going to choose a little bit larger greeting. And remember, ladies, with these photopolymer stamps, they're durable, but they're not as durable as the other one. Be careful when you're taking them off your plastic, especially the long, skinny ones, because they're very, very thin, like these ones here. Like, see how thin they are in these areas here? Just be careful when you take them off your paper. Or off your plastic. Look at me, I've got 2 Memento inks out here. Alright, that looks good. We will give this a whirl. just like so. All right, that can go over here out of my way, and we can glue this right on the front of the card. And I just noticed that my greeting is super, super crooked. That's what happens when I'm trying to keep my head out of the camera. So now I have to fix that because it's going to bug me if I don't. So I'm going to pull that stamp back in here. Oops, snap my magnets. And we'll give it a clean, and I'm going to stamp this again. Yes, sir. I'm batting 1,000 tonight. Okay. Did you ever have one of those days? That looks better. Nice and dark and straight. All right. Was not the plan, but we all know things don't always go as planned. All right. Let's see what I'm going to do here. 2 and a half. 2 and a half by, I'm thinking 3/4. See how that works. Okay. 2 and a half by 3/4, maybe just a titch less. All right, so this is going to be able to go over the top, but now I'm going to have to mat that because it is going to look funny white on white. So let's see if I've got enough here in my scrap. Let's see if that's big enough. It will be if I cut this down just a bit. We will make it work. Where there's a will, there's a way. Look at that. Okay. So that didn't work. You get to witness me mess up live. All right, let's see if I can get this together and make it look like something. That looks pretty good. We'll glue her together. And I'm going to bring in my mini paper trimmer and just even it up. There we go. What mistake? It was meant to be this way. Now I'm going to glue that flat on because if I don't, you will be able to see the crooked greeting underneath. Now let me get this on straight. There we go. Okay, now onward. I have my Stampin' Pierce mat, and I have all these little blossom flowers that I punched ahead of time. And I am just poking them in the middle. And we are going to grab our Tombow and offset them and make them full. Just offset the petals a little bit. And then we're going to have to find a little gem or something, a little jewel or maybe a pearl. Let me see what I can find. See what this looks like. Oh, I like that. All right, 2 and 1 more, and we are golden. And then I'm going to grab my glue dots, and I'm just going to press a glue dot to the bottom. Did you see that move? Not cool. There we go. Perhaps I will use a glue dot on both. On this one, it's very stubborn. There we go. Let's give it a whirl. I'm going to put one about there. And just zhuzh this up a little bit. Technical term, zhuzh. And one about there. And my final one, I'll put over here. And you can just play with your petals a little bit to give it some dimension. I've worked myself into a mess again. All right, let's get some of this stuff out of the way. So there's our third one, ladies. And of course, I'll finish the insides and make them pretty. There's number 3. There's number 2. That's gorgeous. And number 1 with that fabulous tree die cut. All right, that's it for tonight. That is our Curvy bundle. And I know some of you have this on the way because I placed the order this morning. So there's a few ideas to get you kick-started when you get your products. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. Bye-bye for now. Thanks, Carol.